Welcome back. There is often heated debate as to whether or not global warming is man-made or simply a natural cycle that we have no control over. But no matter what side of the fence you're on, it hasn't stopped the Paris Climate Change Agreement from becoming international law. Jim, what side of the fence are you on?
I'm on the undereducated, underinformed, have no idea where the truth is. I see what I consider to be reasonable evidence on both sides of this argument. I think absolutely we need to do everything in our power to protect our planet, whether or not global warming is real.
So
if we can put together energy that is the solar or wind or whatever the case may be, we absolutely need to do that. I'm not as convinced as some that all of global warming and the temperature rate, the rise of increase in the temperature has gone up recently, which is, I think, one of the catalysts for this law in France. I'm not on the side of the fence where I believe it's all due to human intervention.
there is a natural cycle. So I guess the first thing that I would say is science is not beholden to politics. 95 to 97%, I forget what the exact statistics, of climate scientists believe that human activity has a significant effect on climate change. 50% of Congress believes it. Now Congress, most of them, are not scientists. Most of them probably don't belong in a conversation about science because they don't have the mental capacity to engage into it. So yes, there is a natural cycle, and it's a natural cycle that was, the Earth was already in a heating trend prior to the Industrial Revolution. So you had the period of time that was called the Little Ice Age, which was caused by a volcanic eruption in Indonesia, which led to 3 years of crop failure, 3 years of no summer during the beginning of the Dark Ages, and to a large degree was responsible for the collapse of Western civilization into the Dark Ages. And so at the end of that, then you had a natural period of warming, which started in the 16th, maybe 16th or 17th century, and it has been continuing. If you look at the rate of rise after the Industrial Revolution, and especially in the 20th century, and especially starting in the mid-20th century, it's been increasing exponentially. So even as a layperson looking at that, I think if you look at the climatic record, there is no parallel for that. It's never happened before.
But we don't have records for that long. You're talking about millions of years.
Jim, allow me.
That's a fact. It's not. That's not up for discussion.
It's not a fact.
Post hoc ergo propter hoc.
Okay, so
I'm going to say that again. I've used that before, right? Following this, therefore, because of this. It's rarely true.
No, but Jim, can I say something?
Go ahead.
The reason we do actually have millions of years of climatic records is we can take ice cores. In ice cores in Antarctica, which have been there for millions of years, we are able to see exactly the climatic conditions that have occurred for however deep we can take that ice core. So actually we do have records that go back millions of years.
But if the ice melts, then that ice core layer goes away. There are fallacies in that too, and I'm not smart enough to tell you what they are, but there are fallacies in that as well. You're laughing. Say something.
I'm laughing because you just admitted you're not smart.
I'm not.
No, and look, I think that, and I know you have a different political slant necessarily than I do. We're on different sides of a very centrist political worldview. We cannot take a political view to climate change.
I agree.
It is a very critical problem, and there is no argument that, at least I think in the scientific community, that we are causing, or we're to a large degree increasing climate change.
I think it's definitely an issue, but I also think it's exaggerated. I think that the issue is largely over-exaggerated, that our climate is not advancing as much as some of these doomsayers say it is.
I would agree with you there, and I think we're going to make changes, and ultimately we're already making changes. What we need to work on is the developing world, places like China and India, because they're the ones producing most of the pollution now.
300 million years ago, Washington County was on the equator. Fact. Okay?
Little thing called plate tectonics.
Regulatory. We're looking now at doing away with a lot of regulations. Business doesn't want regulations for what reason? Cost them a little bit more money. You can't say that all we've put into the air has been beneficial to a cleaner
Oh, it hasn't.
globe.
There's no
Okay?
question about that.
So how do we stop that? We're not going to stop it with the debate that we have going on now, which is, I don't know if it's real or not. Well, I tell you, we better come up with a solution that it is real and that we need to regulate as much as we can what goes into the air. You can politically do all you want, but when we're no longer here and the people coming after us are having all kind of problems, then you'll say, why didn't our ancestors do something about it?
Well, and as usual, Ron, you're going to get the last word on that.
So, we've got a lot more to cover around the world. Stay tuned.